everyone. So I'm sure you've noticed that I now have a weird background next to me. We're going to learn to take some photos today. So I'm going to wait for a few of you to hop on, and then I'm going to start. Do you have it muted? There you go. Okay, does everybody, you can't see comments yet, huh? Nobody yet? Okay. I see one. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Sasha. Oh, good. At least we have comments.
Christina.
Hi, Christina. We're learning to make a photo booth today, so if you want to learn all the things, stick around. I'm going to teach everybody how I take my photos. And I'm actually going to adjust my light to be a little bit better too. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Kay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I almost want to pan you guys back so you can see a little bit better, but I have a light over here, and I'm going to tip it this way so you can kind of see what it looks like. I have a softbox light. It was a cheap one from Amazon. I can send you guys a link. But what that does is it makes it so whatever I'm taking a photo of has decent light. So it's getting dark outside and we can still take photos. So what I did, and you won't be able to see me much, but I'm over here. What I did is I actually took foam core board from the dollar store, $1.25 store, and contact paper. And I have a bunch of different combos that I can make. I put contact paper on both sides of these. And that's what makes it really easy to just switch out according to what color I'm doing. So I have a dark one, I have a light one, I have a wallet, and we're going to take photos of all of them. And I'm on an iPhone. But for those of you that are on an Android, the same concept applies. One of the things that I see a lot of people doing that's a common mistake is they will take photos, but then they will crop them and try to add a background of their own. And unless you're really, really good at Photoshop, that doesn't always look the best. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this for $4 plus a light. And you can actually use any light that you have. I just happen to have this one. So I bought 2 pieces of foam board and 2 packages of contact paper. Actually, that one's wrapping paper. And I just spray the wrapping paper on. And I'll reuse these over and over. So for $4, we made a photo station.
Barb's here.
Hi, Barb. So I'm using a box of screws to prop my stuff up because I'm super professional like that. So when I go to stage things, I make sure all my zippers are facing forward. And if you notice, my item is here, but the background's way back there. That's important. So I have Michael's phone, so he's reading comments on the computer behind the photo station. You can see him kind of around the corner there.
Hi.
He is going to be reading comments on my laptop, so I can use his phone to show you how I take pictures. So I take pictures in landscape, and if you notice, I'm really zoomed in right now. I want to go to portrait mode. Okay? And if you notice, see how the background blurs out? I prop my hand flat here. And if you can see the screen, what I'm doing is I tap the item that I'm taking a picture of until the whole thing is in focus. And sometimes that takes a minute. And when it's in focus, then I take a picture. And just like that, you have a professional photo and you can just crop it down. And that's all I do for my photos. I don't have to edit anything. I don't have to worry about it. It's all just super basic and easy. Now, say that this is a really dark bag and I want to do a light background. I'm going to show you how easy it is to swap that. Okay, so all I do, and you'll get a very good picture in just a second of how easy this is I take my other foam board and I trade it out. And I try not to hit Michael because he's super nice and we don't want to take him out with foam board. And just like that, we have a lighter background. Easy. So now when we go to take a picture, but I have those glare spots on the top. I don't. Those are actually probably from me trying to show you on a phone screen. Because if you look at it, that is actually the background. The bag itself, or well, in this case it's a wristlet, doesn't have a glare. So if I want to take this picture, and if you're seeing the glare that's up here, one thing you can do to adjust that is just change your lighting. I can adjust my lighting to be different. So what I will do is I will just move this. There, and I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. Less glare now. Looks pretty good. Okay. So now that looks a little bit better. And with an iPhone, it will tell you if you need to back up. But that's all I do. And then I will just zoom in. That's how I take almost all of my photos. They're super easy. They are not difficult at all. As a matter of fact, I actually taught Michael how to take photos this way, and I think I'm going to have him come take a few photos because he does it a little differently than I do, and that might work better for you. So we're going to swap. I'm going to do comments. Tag your it. I didn't tell him he was going to take photos. But he does it a little bit differently, and if he's there taking photos, I can narrate from here, so hopefully you'll be able to see me. Okay. So you actually have to get in the frame so they can see on the phone what you're doing. And you can stage a different item if you want to. It does not matter. You gotta kind of move out of the way of the camera so they can see what you're doing though. That will stand up straight if you prop it. I know, it'll stay. I'll stop moving the table. You're good. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see his phone screen. It's a little laggy over here, but I'm going to try and give him some feedback. No, we cannot see your phone screen just yet. Looking better. There we go. Okay. So one thing that's really important is if you notice Michael's struggling with this because it's hard for him to stand with all of this stuff over here. You want to make sure you're taking your picture straight on so that your bag looks like it's symmetrical. Which is not like that. That's a good example of how not to take a photo straight on. So he prefers to hold his phone and have it float. I prefer to rest my hand because I find that easier to get a straight photo. But sometimes it's easier to do it a different way. They can see you. You're good. Except you're totally at an angle. Are you trying to show them the photo?
Yeah.
Oh, get in front of the camera. Just hold your phone up there. They can't see it from over there. It's like, you can't take a photo from over there. That's not going to work. I don't need to be in this photo. There you go. Just don't have any room for your trailer. You pay the $70 a year for photo room. So, Kay, this folds flat. It takes up no space at all. I store it under my cutting table, on top of the laser, wherever. They're flat boards. They are literally this big. That's it. And I just propped one up and laid one flat.
Okay, so that's a beautiful pouch.
Thank you, Kay. Of course it is. You love purple. So do any of you have any questions? I'm back over here again. Your dinner's ready? Okay, we'll see you when you're back. Is that Carly? Hi, Carly! How do you stage your purses with straps? Oh, that's a great question. So it depends on the bag. Why don't you grab, ooh, I don't know that I have, okay, so I have the crossbody, but do I have a purse? Let me think about this. Why don't you grab your purse, even though it's not done, your everyday tote, and we'll show them how to stage that. What you doing? Carly, we are learning to take photos with a $4 photo booth. Because everybody always asks me how I get my really nice photos, and I don't put a lot of work into it at all. Okay, so Michael's grabbed an everyday tote that he's working on, and I will show you how I stage a bag with straps. So you can do this a couple of ways. And you guys are not going to be in frame for most of this, but if you can tell, I just prop the handles one inside the other. And actually, I might be able to show you this. I literally prop the handles one inside each other like that, and they're staying on their own. So it's that easy. And I will just prop them like that for a photo. And I will take the photo. Now, for a bag this big, I would have to normally put two boards next to each other, or you wouldn't be able to see the way I'm going to take a photo because you guys are so close. How do you take pictures of the inside with the background? Okay, I'll get there in a second. So this is how I would stage that. The other way that I would do this, which is funny that Nicole asked, is I would stage it as the inside of the bag so you can see the straps. So I'd take my screw box and put it out of the way, and I would prop this open, and obviously this isn't finished so it wouldn't look very good, but I would prop this open and have, say, a sunglasses case or a pair of sunglasses, some keys, a few of the things that you'd find in a purse, maybe some chapsticks spilling out of it, and I'd prop it open with probably the sunglasses so that you could see the inside, but it would be a staged photo. So that's how I would do that, and obviously I can't really show you with this. And this one stands up all on its own. It doesn't even need the box of screws behind it. Where did I get the boards? Denise, these are from the dollar store. All of this was $4. And it was, I have boards like this that I've purchased for more money than that, and I just went to the dollar store today and bought this and just made them in the last hour. They're very easy. It's just contact paper from the dollar store and foam board from the dollar store. Do we have any more questions? Would you like to have me show you a few more photos? I'm trying to figure out how to film this so that you guys can see what I'm doing while seeing what I'm doing over here. So I can't really move my phone around too much, but if we have Michael take my phone out of the tripod, he can move some and kind of show you what I'm doing, but it might get a little shaky because he's not really working with a full camera. Would you guys like that? To have Michael do some free video so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move him. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys out of here. And I'm just going to have you move the tripod to begin with. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys out of here, and I'm going to hold you for a second. So this is my light. This is my setup. Obviously, that's not centered right now. You drape or fold your handles because you don't know what to do with them. That's totally fine. Bags with webbing. I'll do one of those in a second. So this is going to be kind of hard for you to show them, but we're going to do our best. So I am actually going to grab my bag. You have to be able to look and see because you need to tip it down at where they're going to be looking at. Okay? So I'm going to grab my bag that has webbing on it. So this is the new Ashley crossbody. This is the only one I have. I promise I didn't just pick this one to promote my new pattern. So I'm going to swap these out, and I have a pile going over there. So for straps, normally what I'll do, is I'll take them off of the bag. Come on. Okay, so I'll take the bag and I'll stage the bag how I'd like it. And this is not filled with anything. Normally it would be. And I take my crossbody and I will normally just kind of fold it like this and like that. So I just make it look pretty, and I will normally prop it in front of the bag. So if I'm going to take a photo of this, let me see what I have quickly to stuff that. So right now it doesn't look the prettiest, but I'm going to see if I can find something to stuff in there really quickly. This is where I end up with like random Minky and all sorts of things just to kind of give it a little bit of body. So when I go to take this photo, oh, your phone's way over there. Did I set it down over there on my way?
No, that was me.
Okay. So now when I go to take this photo, I'm going to go to portrait mode like before. But if you notice, now I had to come way back here. So if you want to stand behind me and like over my shoulder so they can see exactly what I'm seeing, that might help. Good. You're good. So if you guys can see what I'm seeing now, so see how I am straight on with my bag, and it doesn't have to necessarily be centered. I propped it up and it was a little off, which is fine. But if I tap, what I normally do is I tap wherever my metal tag is, because that's the most reflective, and that'll blur the background nicely for me. So I'll go ahead and take a picture, and then if you notice, if I back way up, it blurs the whole thing. If I get too close, it says, place your subject within 8 feet. So what it wants me to do is back the heck up. And you can zoom like this if you really want. I tend to zoom out if I have no room. And I will sometimes take photos. I'll even get lower. The best thing to do is either be straight on or lower than your subject. And I know that's really difficult to do when you're used to taking a selfie from up here so that it makes you look good. But for a bag or an inanimate object, you always want a level field. You kind of drape or fold your handles because you don't know what else to do. I think I answered that. So that's how I take a picture of my crossbody. It doesn't always have to be staged like that. A lot of people will leave the strap on and drape it over the edge. So if I were going to do that, I would just have the crossbody kind of draped over the edge. But for this, because of the shape of the pattern, it's kind of got a fun front flap, bag, pocket. That's the word I'm looking for. Man, it's pre-Monday and I am so not here. Because this has a fun front pocket, I don't want to cover that up. What about the Julie or any backpack? I don't have a backpack that I could show you. So if I were to do I might have the sling. It's not out here though, is it? No. Is it up there?
It's underneath the...
Oh, I'll show you with a sling. And that will probably be a little bit easier. I'm going to take this out before I forget where it goes. Okay. So this obviously isn't a backpack, but it is small. So I'm going to show you then how I would take a picture of this, because it does have a giant strap on it. And this is the Horizon Sling by Rogue Stitches, because I know everybody's going to ask me that in the comments, so hopefully. So I would want to show the back of this and the front of this in 2 different photos, obviously. So what I would do is I'm actually going to grab my box of screws now, because I'm going to need that to prop this up. And when I go to stage this, I will normally kind of bring the strap around in front kind of like that. I don't know if you guys are able to see that or not. Can you see that okay? So I will, obviously it's tilted, so I will straighten it out because we don't want it to be all funky. And it's probably, I actually have yarn in here to help shape it. This one's been in timeout for a minute. So I will leave that way. And I will probably fix this. Come on. And sometimes propping it up takes the longest, honestly. So now when I go to take this photo, I will make sure I'm right in line. And I will just take a straight on photo. I will turn it around. I will stage a back photo. A lot of times when I do a back photo, I will try and show the features.
Hardy's here.
Who?
Hardy.
Hi, Artie. We're learning how to take photos of handbags today. So a lot of times I'll try and show the features like that so you can also see them. There's a slip pocket. Normally I'd put like a pen in there, basically just to show the features of the bag. Same thing. And staging is a whole other game. You'll learn that with time, but photos are pretty easy. They don't have to be super difficult. So when I go in, I will usually take a front and a back. Sometimes I'll do the inside. It really depends. Right now this one's getting shaped. It has yarn in it, so we're not going to do that. But I try and take pictures of like the features of the bag. So I like the way the zipper looks. So I would take a picture of the zipper. And what I'll do is if I can't hide this, see how you can't see the box of screws? I will hide it to where you cannot see the box of screws at all in the picture, but you can still see the zippers. So that's how that turns out. So I can show all of that, and the box of screws blends in with the floor foam board. It's pretty easy. Okay? So do you have any other questions? I feel like I have a whole camera now. I'm happy to show you a few more. It's such an easy thing to do. I feel like showing you 12 of them is the same. But if you guys want to see a few more, I could. But hopefully having Michael film it to where you guys can see what I'm doing from behind me helps. And basically when I go to adjust my light, this is all I will do is I'll take whatever's staged. Can you turn them this way a little bit? So that they can see that. So whatever is staged, how about wallets? Perfect, I have an NCW. So whatever is staged, if I need it to have different light source, I'll just move this around until I'm happy with the way it looks. Oh, hardware. Well, I just did zippers. But taking pictures of hardware, if you're trying to feature the hardware on a bag, I would do it like I did those zippers, and I would zoom in. If you're trying to take pictures of hardware to put them on a website, like you're trying to sell hardware, that's a whole other game, because you got to stage that differently, and I am not prepared for that, but I will do a demo on it at some point. So for wallets, I just toss this in my pile of stuff over there. When recording, how do you take pictures of a specific step? I record the whole thing and then I have video editing software to do that kind of thing. So if I'm going to do a wallet, I have these tags on mine, so I need to make sure to tuck this in. So I close up my wallet, get my box of screws, and one of the things a lot of people do when they're taking pictures of wallets is they will put like their ID, their credit card in there. Don't do that. Get your business card, put that in where the ID goes, because it tells you that that's your make. It tells anybody that borrows your photo without asking that that is your photo. And then somebody can find you instead of buying somebody else's knockoff of your product. And also, free advertising. Plus, then your card's in there when you give it away and they have a card to give to someone else. So if I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this wallet, I'm going to go into the camera. And hopefully you guys can see this. So I will get probably about that far away. And I am not low enough. I want to be about that high. And I'm going to go into portrait. There we go. And it says move further away. So when it tells me to move further away, I can move back until it's happy. Or I can move my wallet so that I can still prop my hand. So I make sure, I'm kind of looking to see if I have the same amount of space on both sides here. And it thinks I'm in natural light. I am most definitely not in natural light. I am in, where's the light that I want? I think it's back here. There we go. So I need to make sure that this is straight. There we go. Got my light source. My wallet is not blurry. I can focus. When I do this, I'll normally focus on the snap or the brightest part of the flap. And then when I take that photo, it's that easy. And when I go to stage the inside of the wallet, I'll show you how I do that too. Obviously, I have this price tag holder on mine. But when I go to stage the inside of the wallet, I will normally have contents in here. And I will double-sided tape this down so that it stays open. Or I will prop the wallet up like this. And this one's got Decaville in the flap, so I have to kind of bend it to stay open. I will stick money in here so that it kind of holds the flap open for me. And the other thing that I will do, and I don't know that I have mine handy because I wasn't prepared to do inside photos at the moment, is I will use our proppy opening to keep things open. So I would have a prop that holds this, and let me see if I can grab one. I will use one that has paper on it for you so you can see it. So these are actually clear, but they come with paper so they don't get scratched up in shipping. And if I were going to do this, I would prop it under the snap, which is a lot easier when somebody's not watching you. That's the other way. There we go. So what I will do, and that would be clear. So when I take a photo of this, that wouldn't show up in my photo because it would be clear. I'm doing this so you can see where it's propped. But if I go to take a photo of this with a clear one, it basically blurs out completely. So if I were taking a photo of this, I'd probably tip it forward a little. I'd have some money in front of this too, so that would hide it a little bit. So the less of it that's showing, the better. And then I would just take a picture. Now, if I were trying to really be discreet, I would put money in front of it like that, and you'd never be able to see it. So I basically hide all of those things. So it doesn't matter what my props are, but the clearer proppy openings are really nice when you're trying to take a picture of like the inside of a bag, because no matter what, that's going to be in the frame. So that's what I use them for. Okay, I'm going to go over and read some comments and see if anybody else has questions, since Michael's arm hasn't fallen off yet. And then, Jenny, you want to know about hardware. I will do some hardware photos, but that's a whole other setup. I need 2 lights so that I don't get a reflection, and I'm not set up for any of that right now.
As a small example, people could check the website, just because
if you'd like to see how some hardware is staged, Michael's taken all of our hardware photos, so you can look at that if you're trying to stage actual hardware. Yeah, that would be a great place to look. Do I have any other questions while I'm here? Okay, well, if I'm out of questions, I think I made it look so easy. Peach, it is so easy. It is so easy. Like, I promise you, this was $4 outside of the light, but you can literally use any light as long as you put, you're gonna laugh at this. When I did not have a light, I would tape a piece of printer paper in front of my light to diffuse the light, and it works just fine. You're good. You appreciate me doing this. Oh, you're so welcome. So when I take photos, it is not hard. I am lazy. If I can do it easier and faster and with less effort, absolutely. I will definitely do it that way. As long as it doesn't look bad or sacrifice quality, I find it much easier to set up this station than I do to go in and Photoshop anything for a photo. So it's easier to just get a good photo in the first place, and I literally never have to edit them. Occasionally when I'm doing vinyl photos, I will have to change the contrast because it's hard to get true colors. So for when you guys are looking at them on the website, they're accurate. So that's why I would change those so that you can actually see the proper colors. But otherwise, when it's a make like this, there's so many different colors in one picture that the picture actually photographs fairly well. If you were taking like a completely, like Michael's bag that's all brown leather on the outside, I would definitely make sure that your background has a decent amount of contrast and isn't just stark white or stark black or something, because that will help the bag itself pop, and it'll make the colors look truer to what they are, because they'll have something to contrast to. And there's a whole spiel of things I could teach you about how to make a good photo wise, but for easy, like for those of you that are just trying to put stuff on a website so that you can sell your bags or you want to share them on social media, it's easy. I went to the dollar store. I spent more than $4 because I got enough to do like 6 or 8 boards, and they're double-sided. So this one has marble on the back that's different. And then I have the wood floor. I have a marble floor. I have this black and white, this black on black. I have straight white. I have this really pretty damask, and then I have this nice tiled pattern. So I did a lot of these so that I could take pictures of all sorts of different bags, but all in all, I spent less than $20. It wasn't expensive. It does not have to be expensive. And they all, like, when I'm done and I'm going to set up or tear down my photo booth for the day, this is all I do. Done. That's it. I store them like that. That's all it is. Nothing. I propped them up on a bin. You can prop them up on a box. You can prop them up with your thread cones if you have the bigger cones. I've propped them up on my computer. I do easy. And to turn off the light, this is very easy too. All I do is, there's a switch here, so I turned off the light, and you can see the difference already. And then it's just an umbrella that closes. And actually, I didn't adjust this back out. So the umbrella just closes like that, right around the light bulb. This unscrews, basically. This folds flat. And there it is. And then the feet actually fold up too. So it's super easy to adjust. There we go. There we go. So that's all it is. So it folds flat like that. Folds down. I actually just put a cable tie around here, like the Velcro ones. And it's skinny and vertical, and that's all it is. It's literally, it takes up less space than a poster. Hi, Terry. So I think I answered everybody's questions. I will be in the comments helping you guys and answering questions too. And if I didn't go over something you want to see, you can let me know. Where did I get the light bar? I got it on Amazon. It was not super expensive at all. I want to say, I think less than $40 or less than $20. I can't remember. I looked it up right before the live and I said it at the beginning. I forgot already because I was giving you every other bit of information. So that left my brain. But I can post a link. And as a matter of fact, I might actually have one of these that I can loan you. You must have missed everything. No, well, kind of. Yeah, we just learned to do a photo booth and take some photos. So if you go watch the replay, it's super basic. This is probably the shortest live I'll ever do. So it's not, it was super quick. So you didn't really miss everything terribly. It wasn't much to miss. Hi, Angela. So unless anybody has questions, I will go so you guys can all watch the replay, because the sooner I get off here, the sooner I get dinner and you get a replay. So you can go watch over and over. And if all of you want to practice your photo skills and share your bags in the group, everybody that shares a bag photo, I'll put you all into a drawing and I'll draw for a gift card or something. So let's see them. And it doesn't have to be something with my products. I don't care. Take a picture of your anything like that. Take a picture of your favorite candle. I don't care. Learn, practice, like it doesn't matter, but share them all. Let's see what you come up with. And you don't have to use contact paper backgrounds like this. I sometimes use straight poster board that's white. As long as it's bigger than my project so that it covers all of the messy stuff in the background that nobody needs to see because it distracts from your pretty beautiful thing that you've made, then doesn't matter. So you can use plain white if you want, as long as you aren't trying to give contrast to something that is white. Don't do white on white. That's very hard to see, obviously. But as long as you hide all the messy stuff in the background, super good. Denise, you can drape fabric. However, I caution people away from that for a few reasons. I drape fabric, I use Cuddle. And I do that sometimes, but one of the things that people definitely make as a huge mistake when they do that is they do not smooth out their fabric, and it looks very tacky. It is not, it distracts the eye. When you're looking at it, it'll distract the eyes from the pretty project or bag that you've made. Then all people are looking at is how your background is like this weird optical illusion and nothing's straight. Hi, Deanna. I always say your name wrong. One of the two. Hello. Hi. So when I'm talking about photographing straight on, that's another reason. You want to make sure that none of the lines in your photo are like, because then it looks terrible. And I know that most people are like, oh, it's fine. Yes. But the better your photo looks, the more people are going to buy your product. Hi, Donna. So I really encourage you to practice and start getting some really good photos. It will absolutely help sell your products. Even if you're just posting in the group, it'll get a lot of interest and people will see your makes, and maybe somebody that does want to buy it will see it. So the more that you practice and the better you get, the better it's going to look in a photo and the more people are going to want it. When I first started, I didn't have super great photos. I started way back as a photographer. I didn't start taking photos of bags. But when I first started, I had to learn a lot of these things too. And I practiced and practiced and practiced. And Lord knows I have 150 photos of the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over. And they all look very similar. But I was practicing. And that is okay. So like I said, for all of you that want to give it a whirl and try and take some photos with this method this week and post them, absolutely. Hi, Carolyn. I have stuff in a cubby for you. Don't let me forget. We're learning how to take professional photos of our bags on a budget today. I am so sideways right now. Turn me back straight. Turn me, what are you doing? Thank you. Good grief. See, I told you he's not a very good tripod. I'm like, hello, hi. Okay, so I think I have answered everybody's questions, hopefully. But I will be in the comments answering more. But I'm going to hop off here so that you guys can go rewatch it and learn some things. And I expect to see everybody in their beautiful, gorgeous photos of whatever they wanted to take photos of on the wall this week. Okay? Because you can all do it. It's super easy and it's super cheap. And it doesn't take very long either. Because that's also nice. Okay, I will see you guys.